Peace, fam. This is Mustafa Talks Tech, your digital marketing specialist and tech evangelist, coming at you again with another episode on the Mustafa Talks Tech show. As it has been for the past maybe 4 times, I'm bringing on a very special guest to the platform. As I stated when I originated this platform, that I knew that I had gained a lot of knowledge in tech and digital marketing and other areas, but I also knew that there were certain things that I don't know. And instead of being limited on this channel by things that I don't know, I was smart enough or have been smart enough to go out and get other people who have that different knowledge bases and different areas of expertise that I can bring them onto the show and they fill in the gaps of knowledges that I don't have. A wise man once told me that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room to get things done, but you have to be smart enough to go get smart people to help you get things done. So on this channel, on this show, I have tried to be smart enough to go get smart people to help me get things done as far as giving their expertise and knowledge. And in that vein, tonight we have a very special guest. If you're from Pensacola, I'm not introducing a stranger to you. We have our sister, Katrice Johnson, coming on tonight of Bantu Cola. If you're not familiar from her, you're outside of the city. She's with Bantu Cola, and Bantu Cola has been very instrumental in putting a spotlight on Black businesses in Pensacola and now, surrounding areas. Bantu Cola has also been instrumental in putting on several networking events where fellow Black entrepreneurs are able to link up and share ideas and maybe join on to go do some great collaborations down the line. She's also proficient in graphic design, which I was very excited to learn from her and was able to chat with her about that. And she just, from what I was able to meet, she's just overall a great person who has a heart and a passion that wants to do something for our community. So in my book, that's definitely a thumbs up. So at this time, let us bring to the Mustafa Talks Tech show, Katrice Johnson.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing?
All is well. All is well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I just want to thank you for accepting the invitation and coming on to the show. As I was saying in the intro, that where I am limited in certain areas, I want to bring on different brothers and sisters who have different knowledges that can fill in some gaps that I don't have and also educate me. These interviews are as much educational for me as I hope they are for others. So I welcome you and thank you for coming on to the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank you again for the networking event that I was able to attend with you a couple of weeks ago. And I had never been to a professional networking business event a day in my life. And I had never been, that was my first time. As I've suffered from, social anxiety in the past. So I was kind of like, I don't know about this. I know I need to be there, but I don't know about this. But I just want to say that you made that event so accessible to me and made it so easy for me to go around the room and meet my fellow entrepreneurs from the community that look like us and break the ice and talk to them and learn from them and share from them. So just thank you from the offset. That was just really, really, really awesome.
Thank you very much. I am. People think that I am a social butterfly, but I'm really shy. And I like being at home behind a computer. So I did something that I thought if it would make me comfortable, it would make other people comfortable. So that was the whole brain idea behind that when it comes to like making sure that people feel good about themselves when they leave and they feel like they've met someone and they didn't just go out and have a drink. It was more, you get a chance to really be in your element and talk. And that was what we wanted to make sure that took place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have a few questions we're going to ask you tonight and open up and just discuss and, learn from you. And you're the teacher. We're the students in the class, and we're just looking forward to learning from you. First, if you will, just tell us about your background as an entrepreneur. How did you get involved in entrepreneurship, and just that journey, if you will?
So I'm not from Pensacola, but I'm a Pensacolian at this point. I've been here long enough. I started in 2001. Actually, I graduated from college, had gone to school for graphic design, and wanted to really, really work for a company so that I could try desperately to get, the training that I needed outside of school. And I went to several different companies that were not like us, and I was told that I would either be bored with the job, or that I was overqualified, or that I was underqualified, or they would see me and tell me the job was filled as soon as I walked in. And so instead of being depressed and deciding to do something else, I decided that I wanted to create my own opportunity. So I designed the logo, which my first one wasn't all that great, just getting out of school. But I designed the logo, and I decided that I was going to make some business cards because I had gone to school, learned all this stuff, and made some brochures. And I went out and beat the ground basically, and started going to networking events and meeting people. And it was really interesting because the people that I thought would give me an opportunity did not. It was the people that I did not expect that looked at me and said, "You looks like you have something special to offer." That would come to me and say, "Can you Can you create some brochures? Can you build a website?" Now, I had never built a website in my whole entire life, but I wasn't going to tell them I didn't know how to do it. So, so
We're gonna fake it till we make it.
so we got online, and I started. One of my favorite things that I love to do is research. If you give me any kind of a type of information that you want me to figure out or learn, that's my thing. I can get online and research anything. And so I started researching how to build websites, how to do uh, tech talk, as far as learning the language of the computer system. I actually pulled my first computer apart and put it back together so that I could try to figure out how all that stuff works, so that when I got ready to do something, I knew what I was talking about. But it was all ingenuity on my part. No one was like, "You need to do this." It was, "No, let's get this done and see how this all works." And so when it came to me trying to finally get real clients in, or get the education, or get the training that I needed, it was all me saying, "I got to get this. And if no one gives it to me, I'm going to get it regardless." Then I would go down to the SBDC and I would talk to them about business, because I'm very inquisitive when it comes to learning. And I would go there and I would ask for help, and they would give me like a crazy runaround. And then I would have white friends that would go there, and they would get their direct information, what they needed, all the paperwork. And then they would come back and be like, "Here, Katrice, take this." And so I really was able to pull from them so that they can help me get where I needed to go. But I had some really good people in high places that were kind of like open up doors for me that I wasn't expecting to see open. Fast forward to 2023. Being in business as long as I have been, I've learned a lot since then. I had been working with a gentleman. His name is Chris Hendricks, and he created Bantu Cola and asked me to design the logo for him for that. And we started talking about the things that we wanted to do as far as Bantu Cola was concerned. And I was heavily involved with a lot of the stuff that he was doing concerning helping the community. And it wasn't until it was right before George Floyd died. And I was angry because we marched and I didn't want to march. I went and took pictures, but I didn't want to march. I understood that in order for us to really impact people as a people, that we have to touch their money. If we don't touch the money, it's not doing any good. And so I really connected with Chris Hendricks, and I told him about what I was trying to do, and he pulled me on board. And then next thing you know, he was like, "Take it." And so I'm holding on to his baby until he comes back, is what I say.
Yeah, I was able to meet him over the summer. Lord Richard, he had the inaugural meeting of Blacks in Technology, and Mr. Hendricks was there, and we was able to meet and greet for a few minutes, and I really enjoyed the conversation with him. And he gave
Yeah.
me a few. He helped shift my mind on a few things that I wasn't even thinking of. He was like, think about this, considering. I was like, okay, I didn't even think about that. Thank you.
Yeah, if I'm gonna say this, giving him his accolades for sure. That if you ever get a chance to really just sit down and let him just pour into you, you come out a much better person. So he took time to pour into me, and I greatly appreciate it because if it wasn't for him, a lot of the steps that I was taking before. I would have been going down the wrong road, but he's really good at pointing me in the right direction. So I value his input on a regular basis.
Okay. With just connection with that, I got two questions, but in connection with what you said, so you've been in business for yourself almost what 20 some years?
It's been 23, yeah, going on
Wow.
23 years. Yeah, yeah.
We always hear the horror stories of businesses don't make it past their fifth birthday, and just so many problems, and then specific problems to our community. But you are a testament that you met and overcame all of those obstacles, and you're still here standing. With everything, go ahead.
No, no, I said absolutely go for it.
Yeah. With everything that's going on with the inflation, we hear rumors of recession. We still live in a world where we're what do they say? We're last hired, first fired. We don't get the pay that we deserve, even if we have the same educational credentials, the experience. Um, what are your views about us moving more into entrepreneurship, or a brother or sister may be listening right now that may have an idea and maybe saying, I have an idea, but I'm just kind of afraid, I'm scared I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna play it safe and stay on this job. What would you say to that person that may be thinking like that? Or
So the first thing I would say is fear is an enemy. Um, when it comes to business and having a dream and a goal and an idea, you being afraid will kill everything. I know you've heard the saying before, the graveyard is filled with people that had ideas, and if they had allow themselves to be fruitful and multiply that idea, I believe that a lot of the things that are happening in the world right now would not be happening if the person had just followed through on their idea. Whether it be a book, or it could be, marketing, it could be construction, it could be anything. It could be something that we've never even thought of. But because of fear, we tend to walk away from different things. And relaying that to the Black community, because we have always been told as a people, you're bad, you can't do this, or you're not as good as so and so, or even though we know you're here, we're going to pay you here. I remember when I was at a job, I was working for this company that I will not name. It's here in Pensacola. And I told them, I said, listen, they were getting ready to go bankrupt, like literally belly up, one of the
wow,
largest printing companies in Pensacola. And I told them, I said, give me 90 days. And if I can't pull you out of your situation in 90 days, you can fire me. That was what I
right,
told them. Within 60 days, I pulled them out of their situation. And then they hired a white person along with me and paid him more money for what I had already done. And it was just like,
wow,
wow. But if I had allowed that to keep me from doing what I'm doing now and being afraid that I would not succeed, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So I would say to the person that is thinking about an idea, go for it. What do you have to lose? And if you say everything, as long as you're still breathing air, you haven't lost. You've learned. So it's okay if you fail. Failure is not something that we have to look at in a negative way. When I look at our white counterparts, they will create something and fail a million times, but get back up and try something different. Why is it that
Absolutely.
the case with us? If you believe in yourself, you can do it.
But at this stage in my life, I'm really passionate about entrepreneurship because I believe, as you know, that we can't pass on to our children a job.
That's true.
That if our children grow up and want to work at the same company, they got to start at the bottom rung and work their way up to where mom and daddy is. But I really believe that as a people that we have to think more of building institutions and build legacies and build businesses that's going to be here like 100 years from now. One of the great stories that I love is that did you have something? Go ahead.
I agree with you, but this is the one thing that I would like to say along with that, because a lot of times we as people do build legacies. I've known several Black business owners that have an entire legacy for their people, their family members, whoever that, but if you don't teach them to appreciate what you've built, it's still no good. So
That is
in the process of building your legacy, you need to explain to the people that you're passing it on to why this is important and why it's going to help them in the long run, because that's how you build generational wealth.
absolutely, absolutely. And I've seen that here locally where family members have inherited a business and then just let it go.
Yeah,
Something that someone before them sweat, bled, and gave their nickels, pennies, dimes too. But like you say, if they don't see the value in it of continuing something, then boom, it's gone. But
absolutely.
um, I think about the story of Sam Walton. He died in April of 1992, but Walmart didn't stop because their leader died. The board of directors, they gave him his salute, his rights, and then they went back to work Monday and kept business going. And this man is dead and gone, don't know what's going on, but somebody saw the vision of keeping Walmart going forward into the future. So, that's just one of the things I want to see for us to build these businesses, like you say, where whoever comes along would appreciate and just keep it flowing and keep it going and keep the money going, in our community.
Agreed. A lot of times whenever we think about business, we have to change our thinking of how we look at business. A lot of times whenever a young person sees their parents in business, all they see is them working from night until day, or they feel like, they're always doing something for the business or putting money back into the business or doing this for the business. But if the parent would explain that they're actually creating something that's going to be a lasting effect, not just for them in the community, it would change how people view things. Also, I was talking to one of my doctor, in all honesty, a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, my parents have had their own business for the past couple of 25, 30 years, and I've had to do their bookkeeping and I had to do this, and I don't want nothing to do with the business. And I was like, wow. And in my heart, I understood what she was saying, because, if you give your child the responsibility, they're not getting paid for it, they're just working. It becomes a whole nother level of just a chore. But if you explain to them, like white people do with their kids, that we're building wealth, that even if you sell this, make sure that you get what it's worth,
Exactly.
so that you can understand that this was something that was to help create something that's going to help you later on down the road. And even if you don't appreciate it, hold on to it, your kids might. So it's just, those are the things that we have to look. It's the same thing with buying a home. A lot of Black people are losing their homes because the kids don't appreciate them, or the kids are fighting over them and no one's paying the taxes or what have you, and they lose everything. And it's because we have not been taught that we need to have this information so that we can keep our stuff. Downtown is filled with all the people in the tan yards that are no longer like us, that look like us anymore. There's very few of us down there now. And because of that, the taxes have gone up on the homes that are there. And all they're doing is buying people out. They're waiting them out. They know they don't have the money, and they're waiting them out, and they're taking their property. When if we would band together as a people and practice group economics, we could save that home and we can help that person keep our land. but no one thinks about that kind of stuff when it comes to business and group economics and their children and educating themselves and their kids and their kids' kids, which is what happens in a lot of white families or Asian families. So, yes.
Before we go further, I had a question that we got away from. I just wanted to jump back and go into that. When we was talking about entrepreneurship, I just wanted to ask you that you have two different strikes that people may use against you. You're a black person, member of the black community, but you're also a woman. And we live in a world that, both of those are some people will look down on both of those realities. So if you will, what are some of those challenges that you may have experienced being black and a woman going into entrepreneurship? And what are some of those things that you've experienced or the challenges that are inherent in entrepreneurship from that perspective?
Being black and a woman has posed a lot of challenges. One of them is that a lot of times when you do business, especially whenever you're a techie like me, I'm not a nerd, but I'm nerd enough to know, enough stuff to get in trouble. Let me say it like that. But when you start talking tech with people, the first thing they want to do is challenge you. That's one of the things that happens to me on a regular basis, whether they know what they're talking about or not. I'm challenged in my own field. Another thing that happens is I'm blown off because I'm a woman. I can tell you something that will help your business, and you'll take the information and then you will just completely dismiss me as if you came up with it. I've seen that happen. Or you'll wait and wait and wait and wait and wait until someone comes and says, well, that's not exactly how it happened. I saw this on the news the other day, and this is what they said, and that's how it's supposed to be. Or my son said this, and it's just like, but does your son know anything about marketing? Does your son know anything about, web design? Does your son know anything about graphic design? Have they taken any classes? I was actually working with a young lady doing her, and it's funny because it doesn't just happen with white people. It happens with our own people. It happens with everyone. Okay. So I was working with a young lady and I was doing her labels and getting everything together for her and explaining how everything worked and what she was doing. And she had two high school students in her business. And she looked at them and said, well, what do you think? And, they proceeded to give their information, never went to school for anything, don't know anything about marketing, never. And I asked the kids the question. I said, do you have a degree in graphic design or marketing? No. And then I was told that my energy was bad because I asked that question. But if you don't have the experience, how can you sit there and judge something if you don't have the experience and you don't know anything about what I'm talking about when it comes to the information? And so that happens a lot with when it comes to dealing with customers. What I have learned, though, is there's a way to overcome it. You go in with your head held high and not being afraid. And if they don't agree with you, or if they feel like they know more than you thank yourself and excuse yourself from that conversation because they already know they don't need you. And I've gotten really comfortable doing that. And the moment I do that and they realize that I was trying to help them and now they're going down the wrong road, they usually come back. So I don't really, fret over it like I used to before. It was a really bad thing. Like, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? But now it's like, okay, you got your thing. God bless you. Pass the peas.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you so much. You kind of open the door where we want to go. Next up is talk about tech. As you know, the platform is Mustafa Talks Tech. I transitioned about a year ago, starting with getting my cert in digital marketing. I'm pursuing software engineering, and I may go further beyond that to get some more information. But tech has been my passion. I really love it. It's a natural fit for me, I think. And one of the things that I found, which gave me the mission of transitioning from just wanting to get a job in tech and a career to actually want to be a conduit of educating about tech, was finding out that only 6 or 7% of Black people are in the tech field, and about 2% are leaders or managers in the tech field. So I saw that going forward, that's a large disparity, that tech is going to dominate, whether we're talking about AI or, just different software engineering, that tech is going to dominate VR, just so many different areas, and we're seen to be so woefully lacking of representing in tech and in leadership in tech. So that gave me mission that I'm not going to be selfish just to get job in tech, but I want to share this information with everybody that they, even if they don't accept, they just know the opportunities and what's going down in the play that's going to change in the next few years. Um, how has tech and modern equipment helped you in your business and being able to do some of your things? And I ask that because I love Bantu Cola. I love going on. I love, even before I met you, I love Bantu Cola because I like going on the page and being able to just see other businesses and hear ideas. And it was just something that I just found therapeutic, if you will, just to see other people like me struggling and striving. And I remember being growing up in Pensacola about the late 90s, I'll say that 20 something years ago, we had a magazine called the Harambe Black Business Guide. And in this whole
yeah.
and in this little magazine, they had all of the black businesses that would represent in this magazine. Mm-hmm. And it was just really thrilled to see, wow, I didn't know this black business here, this black business, this. But we live in a time 20-something years after the fact where we don't have that right now, but we have an online resource like Bantu Cola where you can now go online and read those profiles and learn about Connect. So that long-winded way, how has tech and modern equipment helped you in entrepreneurship and being able to get your dreams and visions out for representing our community?
So the first thing that I will say that tech has helped me with is getting systems in place. One of the things that we as a people, and it's not just we as a people, it's people in general, businesses, most of the time when they get started, they don't have systems in place in order for them to be able to do certain things, for them to allow their business to grow. If you have systems in place, it really helps you to expand on your horizons as far as business is concerned and how you want to be able to operate your business. So that was the first thing that it did for me. The second thing that it did was it helped me to understand that even though I may know a lot about tech like you, there's always an opportunity to learn. Even now, I still call on people that know more than me that will help me with certain things when it comes to Bantu Cola. For example, Chris Hendricks, again, there are certain things that I'm still learning about that whole thing. I help them in some aspects of building the website, but maintaining it has been a beast. And so learning how to figure out all the little things that you need to know as far as plugins are concerned, learning about the website itself, the design, making sure that you don't break it. All this stuff comes into play when you're talking about tech talk. Another thing that tech has done for me when it comes to doing business is it allows me to loosen up some time. When you know certain things, technology, in technology, it will help you free up a lot of time that you might have to spend if you don't know technology. And so, for example, I was talking to a recently new client, and I was like, do you have a Canva account? Now, I hate Canva because I actually use the professional.
We're going to talk about it.
I use professional programs. All the Adobe products that come out, because that's what I learned on. So I know that stuff. I know it cold. But if you are not a tech person and you don't know graphic design, but you want to be able to create something to get your marketing out there and you can't afford it, you can't afford not to market. So you need to be on some kind of a program that can help you get information out there and do it quickly so that you're able to really build your business. And I know that I say I hate, Canva. I hate it with a passion, but every once in a while I'll get on there and I'll use it because it's something quick, something easy. I can get it done. I can move on. That's all I want to do. So if you are a business owner and you know that you're not good with tech, it's okay to be like that, but it's not okay to stay there. Tech is going to be in every aspect of life. And here's the thing, people say, I've heard some people say, I don't know anything about technology. If you have a cell phone, you know something about technology, bottom line. Okay. Because your cell phone, that's all it is a hand built computer. It does everything you needed to do. As long as you know how to use apps, you know a little bit about tech. You may not be great with it, but you know just enough to be dangerous, and that's okay. So, you have to start getting with the times. Black people, over 96% of us use technology on a regular basis every single day without even realizing it. So we have to get used to it. If you have a cell phone, if you use a tablet, if you are into the iPods or all that stuff, you use tech. Stop saying you're not comfortable with tech because you use it every single day.
Yeah. I remember my daughter, 16 now, she was 3 years old. I used to have a BlackBerry, so I'm telling my age right there. but this girl was 3 years old, could go into my BlackBerry and could access things and go on apps and do what she needed to do, when her grandmother would be just befuddled, like, I don't know nothing about that. I ain't gonna touch that black. But a 3-year-old with no hesitation, no fear. Look, grandma, just had that ingenuity just to give it a try, not having no fear about it. So
yeah, and that's the thing. Again, we Black people, sometimes we look at things, and I'm not just trying to say us as a whole, but many of us look at stuff and we look at it as taboo if we don't know how to use it. But the age that we're going into, if you don't know how to use technology, you're going to get left behind. So it's better if you try to use it. Even if you break it, you've learned something. So don't be afraid of it, because it's coming whether you like it or not. My mother, I forced her to, on a regular basis, to use her phone. She's like, come over to the house and help me with so, and I'll wait for 3 days. And then I figured it out. But it took me to make that decision to wait so that she would know that she can figure stuff out on her own, because it's there. You just got to play with it and use it. And if you use it and play with it, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that about your mother, because my mother had a eye doctor appointment this week, and normally you would go in and fill out the paperwork beforehand, but this time they sent it to her in a text to go online and fill out the pre-paperwork before she even got there, and she was lost. She was like, "Why did they do that? I've been going all these years, and I just would go there and sit in the lobby and fill out this paperwork, and it's people like me don't know nothing about this dumb cell phone and text phone and this and that. You got to come over here and fill this information out for me." And so I came over and I'm going to do it, but I want you to look over my shoulder so that you can learn. And she's like, "This is just a terrible idea." I said, "This is the way things are going. I mean, this streamlines the process. You may think it's an inconvenience, but now when you go to your appointment, you don't even have to deal with no paperwork. You just sit down and wait to be called. You just cut all that out." And so, we're struggling with that as well, trying to get her on board, but
well, I
at
would
her
suggest
age.
going to Florida Blue. They have a class I think it's every Tuesday, that helps older people with technology.
Write that down.
If you go to Florida Blue on 9th Avenue here in Pensacola, they have a schedule of all the stuff that they do, and that's one of them that they do. They teach senior citizens technology. So that would be something that I would suggest if your parent is struggling and they need to learn something, about their phone or computer or what have you. Definitely, especially their phone, because that's what we use on a regular basis. Let them take those classes so they can kind of catch up to stuff. And I make my mom go once a month now. I'm like, you need to go to class. Go to your class. So yeah.
I wrote that down, look into that and see if I can drag her screaming and pulling over there to Florida Blue and get some learning. Well, just to ask you humorously and just to get what you got against Canva, sister? I didn't open up because you're not the first person that's told me that, but I just never been able to pick their brain to ask them what do you got against Canva?
Well, okay, so for me, first of all, I pride myself on doing a lot of the artwork myself. I Most of the stuff that I do is original work. And so when I was dealing with Canva, they have all these pictures and all this stuff and everything, but a lot of the stuff that they have, you can't even use. So if you don't have a professional account and you can't afford a professional account, you're stuck
Yeah,
basically. And so,
yeah.
because I know how to design certain things, it's kind of rough whenever you can go, well, just do this here, and I'm going to do that there, and I'm going to do this, and then Canva tells you, well, you can't use that because there's a watermark on it, and it's like, wait a minute, and so
Mm,
that's the first thing that I don't like. But they've got to make their money, and I understand that, and I'm not here to beat them up or anything like that. But another
mhm,
thing that I really don't like about Canva is that some of the pictures that they have, whenever you post them to social media, they come out extremely blurry. And it's like, but it looked perfect on this particular screen. So why is it now blurry? Once I transfer it over to something else, it should not be blurry. But
mhm,
a lot of people don't even know it. Like when I go and look at some of the artwork that somebody has done, they put time into it, but it's blurry because Canva does not allow you to have a certain size where it will fit and it will look clean. So you've
mm,
done all this stuff and then your stuff is just jacked. So it's like, okay, well, I know you did that on Canva. Whereas when I
mhm,
do it on my programs, it's going to come out clean. I don't care how hard I try, it'll come out nice and clean and pretty and look like it's supposed to look. Now, some
mhm,
programs like Facebook is now starting to dumb down their stuff. I've noticed that a lot with their app, but it's cleaner than it would normally be if I use Canva. So those are the two main reasons why I don't like it. But if it's someone that has never used any graphic design stuff, like I said, I was taught using the correct stuff, Adobe,
mhm,
Illustrator, Photoshop, all that kind of stuff, and they just need to get something out there. Please don't listen to me. Use Canva.
mhm. Okay, so she made that clear that she's not the biggest fan of Canva, but if in need and you don't have the skills, she's saying please use Canva. But I just wanted
Please use
to,
Canva.
I just wanted to jab on this interview because she told me before about her disdain for Canva, but I just wanted to see it on screen.
Oh, you wanted me to go ahead and show myself up on screen. Okay, I get it.
um, if you will, I think graphic design is a very very great field and a great knowledge to have. It's something that in the back of my head I was kind of interested in. Well, that I believe if you know digital marketing, graphic design, and software engineering, those are a trinity of knowledge that you can really write a ticket for yourself and really do a lot of amazing things if you know those three knowledges. So, what would you say to anyone who may be interested in graphic design, don't want to go the Canva route, but really want to become a professional in it and really have a career or spring into entrepreneurship with graphic design?
I would say go to school. Um, I've said this on many occasions, not putting a hole in anybody's stuff, because there are several people out there that say that they're graphic designers, but when you look at the work that they do, you know that they've never been to school. And one of the things that I will tell you is that if you go to school and you actually learn the craft, I promise you, you'll come out so much better. Some people can pick things up like that, and other people they need the education. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I started out drawing. I started out painting. I started out doing all kinds of crafts before I even got into graphic design. And one of my friends saw one of my paintings and he was like, "You need to go to school for graphic design." And I didn't believe him. I was like, no, I'll just paint. And, I'm okay with it. And then he brought me to class one day, and I sat down at the computer and I started learning how to use the programs. Didn't even pay for the class yet. I was at Pensacola. It was at the time it was PJC. Sat down at
Yeah.
the class in the classroom and started playing with the computer. And when I got finished designing something, the teacher came up to me and said, "You know that you can make a lot of money doing this, right?" He said, "But you need to go
Wow.
to school." And so, if you are an artist, No dig on you at all, because we all have to do our thing. But Pensacola State College is one of the most inexpensive places to go to get your education. And I promise you, you'll hate the teachers, but when you leave there, you won't just have graphic design underneath your belt. You'll learn graphic design. You'll learn a little bit about web design. You'll have photography underneath your belt. Like you'll know all of this information that will help you as a graphic designer. So it's not just about, going to school and learning how to, design something. It's about learning the craft as a whole. So don't just get stuck in one aspect of it thinking that you have it down, because graphic design is always changing, and educating yourself is very important when it comes to that. And most people don't even realize that there's books out there for graphic design. They have books on photography, they have books on graphic design, they have books on web design. All that stuff is out there, but you learn all of that when you're in school. So I would definitely say, please take a class, at least one of them. Get your AA. Even if you don't go for your bachelor's, get your AA and learn, because it will help you in the long run, and you'll be better at it whenever you get that finished.
Absolutely. Thank you definitely for answering that. As we creep up on an hour, there are still some people, amazingly, in Pensacola that do not know about Bantu Cola, don't know the mission of Bantu Cola, are not signed up for Bantu Cola.
Yeah.
If you will, as we go into this last close to an hour, if you will, just kind of talk to us about that mission of Bantu Cola, what you hope to achieve going forward in Pensacola, and why is it important for someone who's listening that may be a business owner to take the plunge and go ahead and sign up and become a member of Bantu Cola's family?
So first, let me say that my mission is to promote group economics. That's the biggest thing. That's the whole purpose behind Bantu Cola, to be able to teach us to be able to help build each other up in one way or another when it comes to business. A lot of times we talk about supporting Black-owned businesses, but if we don't like a person, oh, I'm not going to support that business because I don't like them. And then they'll go and tell 3 people, and that 3 people don't even know who you are. And they won't support your business because your friend doesn't like you. Well, yep. I'm going to say that can I just be kind of like really blunt? If you don't mind. I don't give a damn if you don't like me, in all honesty. I could care less if you don't like me. But if I have a piece of steak that you need a piece of, I suggest you try to figure out how to get along with me so you can get that piece of steak, because I'll give it to you. You don't have to like me. Come get some steak. And what Bantu Cola does is it opens up a door where you can connect with businesses after businesses after businesses, not just in Pensacola, because we have Black businesses in Mobile, we have them in Montgomery, we have them in Panama City, we have them in Milton, we have them in Century. We have Black businesses everywhere on the Gulf Coast. So that whole thing is really about you connecting with other businesses. You may never speak to me in person ever, but if you can come to that and find a business that you can get stuff from, that's the most important thing. We have people that make cakes. We have people that do construction. We have people that do hair, barbers and beauty salons. We have massage therapists. We have tech people. All kinds of people in our arsenal that you can go to and learn how to do business with Black people. And another thing that really bothers me, and so we talk about this again, I don't want to do business with Black people because Black people just don't do right. Stop saying that, because white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, we all mess up. But you don't stop going to them, and you don't ever say, well, I'm not going to do business with them anymore. So stop saying it about your own. We're the only group of people that do that. But there are so many other people out there that you can do business with outside of the ones that you just met. I had a gentleman call me yesterday. He got on Bantu Cola, and he was looking for someone to make a cake. And in the process of looking for someone to make the cake, he called me. He was like, they had a dog barking in the background, and they told me they couldn't do anything until April. And I was like, well, have you checked the for another person on there? And he was like, well, I haven't checked yet. So I got online and I referred him to another business. And he was like, I love that person. They're making my cake. Well, you know what? You don't have to go to every single person on there. Find the one that's right for you. We have almost 700 businesses on there. So why not find somebody that you can do business with that will help your business grow? Stop saying negative stuff about our own stuff, because all you're doing is when one person badmouths a black business, a black person badmouths a black business, we're looked upon at ourselves. You're pointing your finger at your own self. Stop it. That's what you're doing. So get on there, learn about the businesses, go and give reviews. If you don't like what someone did, it's okay. We have a place where you can give a review about that person. They did a bad job. It's okay. Help them do better. Because if they see the review, they may do better later on down the road. Don't just not do business with Black people. That's crazy. We need you. You need us. Black businesses are the ones that help the Black community. How dare you say you're not going to support a Black business when we help the Black community? Stop it. So I encourage you, if you are a business owner, please get on there, register your business. We have 3,300 Black businesses in Pensacola alone. Register your business. We have the bandwidth. We can help you. We can advertise your business out. If you notice on our social media pages, we advertise out Black businesses on a regular basis. All the time, especially on Facebook. We advertise them out. Get on there, find out who you can do business with, and do business with Black people so we can help the Black community, because that's what it's all about.
Man, that was what I do with my interviews after they record is I cut them into little segments and little bite-sized moments. And as you was giving that, I was like, "Whoo, that's gonna be a heck of a segment right there. That thing gonna go viral right there. That thing gonna go all over the internet, boy. People gonna look. They're gonna learn today." Sister told me, "How dare you?" So I'm just letting you know, you're going to see that clip going viral. I'm going to put that one out there right there. I was already cut that. I'm going to start right here, cut, and I'm going to end right there. So there we go.
There is one thing that I would like to say, though. This is something that I think we need to start doing. And this is in terms of what's going on with the negativity with businesses. There are a lot of artists out there that are Black owned. And you have the rappers and you got the singers. But I want to say that if they're not positive and they're not helping the cause to build a positive community, I don't want to say not listen to their music, don't buy their music, but we have to start putting a demand on them to be positive. Because right now, where we're going as a community and the things we're doing, we're being looked at a lot as a people. Ever since, again, George Floyd died, the spotlight has been put on us, and some of the things that are being seen and shown. If you see a person online and they're showing 2 Black women fighting or 2 Black men fighting, unfollow them. Because we have to set the standard. Even if someone else does it, we have to set the standard. We are trendsetters as a people. Everything that we do, from the hair that we wear all the way down to the clothes, to the shoes, everything that we do is trend setting. But some trends don't need to be set. If you see sisters fighting, unfollow it. Even if it's your friend, you don't have to unfriend them, but unfollow it, because we have to stop and shut that crap down. It's destroying us as a community. If you see women jiggling their behinds on video, unfollow it. It's not necessary. We want to start creating a characteristic where we as a people are proud and people can see us in a light and in a vein that we want to be respected in. Jiggling your behind is not a respectable moment. I'm sorry. Brothers, if your whole purpose is to diss another man on social media, ladies, unfollow it. It's time for us to demand something new, because we need to. This is all about us creating that whole ambiance of us being a people of greatness. How can you say you're kings and queens when you take a picture, all the first thing you do is turn your behind around and show your butt? Don't make sense to me. That's not queendom. How can you say you're a king when all you do is basically call each other the N-word and disrespect each other? You can't say you're a king. So I'm going to say that if we are people of greatness, if we are kings and queens that we confess to be, we need to start acting like it. And that's in business as well.
One of the things that I think we're seeing the damage of is I grew up in the 80s. My first rap album was 2 Live Crew, Uncle Luke. Okay. And you know what Uncle Luke was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I graduated to Too Short. And then I graduated to NWA. And at the time, it was just good music for me. And the kind of lifestyle I was around, it wasn't foreign stuff to me. Like, oh my God, it was just normalized for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we graduated to seeing movies like Boys in the Hood and Minister Society and the whole gangster movie genre that was rampant in the 90s. Yeah. And I think that we really created a negative image of ourselves that we're now feeling the repercussions of. Because whenever a black person, male or female, get killed, the first thing they want to do is go look up their criminal record.
Exactly.
Or they say they're thugs. Mm-hmm. So we have contributed to this image that we are the criminals, we are the thugs, we are the bad bees, we are the real ends, that we really did that to ourselves. And we're feeling the repercussions now of it, of an image we made. And that was one of the things that I thought was positive about the Million Man March back in 1995, where it kind of did a global reset where you saw 2 million black men in Washington, D.C. on the mall, and there was no fighting, no cussing, no stabbing. And that image went all around the world, when the world had believed to that point, these are NWA, these are Boys in the Hood, this is Minister Society, this is Too Short, this is gang, kill, shoot. That image, for that one day, will allow the world to see a different image that we're not there. We portrayed some of that, but we're not there. We're also husbands, we're also fathers, we're also uncles, we're also community activists, we're also that there's another side to us that's also positive as well.
Absolutely. And so I'm gonna age myself a little bit. I grew up a little older than you. I can go back to the Sugar Hill Gang when that first came out, and
Rappers for Life.
And Houdini and African Bambaataa. I grew up listening to all of that, and it was all positive and social social awareness is what it was. And so what rap has become now, and I'm not digging into rap, because I I can get down with it when necessary, but when it becomes something where it's a negative vibe, and now they're using technology for that as well. They don't even need a rapper anymore. They can use AI and bring out something without even having a rapper there. And it's just like, okay, but how does that, really affect us as a people? So I'm not saying not to listen to something or not to do something, but think about how it affects you as a business owner. Think about how it affects you, your children. Think about how it affects us as a community. And is that something that you want people to see us as for the rest of our lives? Because that's what they're doing. They're taking our music, they're taking the clothes we wear, they're taking how we talk to each other, they're taking the fights that they see on social media, they're taking all of that, and they're bundling it up and saying, this is those people, and we have to stop it from happening, because that's not us. That's not all of us. So that's my take on that.
Absolutely. Definitely agree. Definitely excellent take. As we close out, what's coming up for Bantu Cola as far as networking or initiatives or plans that you have going forward as we get ready to exit this 2023 and we'll be in 2024 pretty soon? I can't believe the year went by so fast, but what's coming up for Bantu Cola?
So we're working on a few things. We'll be doing the networking for sure. I'm partnering up with RWR Live, and we're in the talks right now with some things that we're going to be doing as far as goal setting. I'll be working with them and I think 1216 North, so that we can try to pull it all together. And then I have a nonprofit called Lemonade Stand Boot Camp. It is designed to help our young Black children that want to be entrepreneurs and want to be financially literate. We're working on getting that out there so we can start teaching them. We'll be going into our first school in January, Deliverance Tabernacle Academy, teaching that whole aspect of life. But other than that, we've got a lot more stuff coming up, and just go to the website and start looking at the calendar, because we have one and it'll tell you all the cool things we have going on for sure.
Okay. Well, you definitely have my support with Bantu Cola. You definitely have my support with Lemonade. I definitely want to hear more about that and how I can be involved with that, because we got to educate and we got to share that information. And those of us that's been in the trenches for a while, we have to transmit this knowledge and the experiences we had to the youth so that they can avoid some of the mistakes we've learned through trial and error. And maybe they can avoid some of those mistakes instead of going through the trial and error themselves. So you have my complete support, in the initiatives that you're trying to do for the community. And I just hope that we can, however many we can convince and bring on board, that we can make something happen in Pensacola. And I believe that. That's my faith, my belief that, if as long as there's a few of us, that we can make some positive changes in Pensacola and just really make this a better place for us. And
absolutely.
Change the image.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right, sis. Well, we are cracking up on officially on an hour. I have these conversations and I'll be like, God, and it went so fast. I look back like, wow, we actually talked an hour.
Once you hear me by myself, I can do a lot of talking. It's whenever I get in front of people that it makes me nervous. So, yeah.
But thank you again. I think the conversation was splendid. You definitely gave a lot of good information, some resources, some things for people to think about. And anything as we close, I give you the floor. Anything you want to say that I didn't ask or say that you just want to address to the public, to the people?
If you are a Black business owner and you are interested in growing your business, please check out bantucola.com. If you go to our social media pages, like and follow them, I believe that you'll get a lot of good information. It has a lot of good nuggets on there of things that will keep you abreast of what's going on in a community, how you can support the community, and how you can grow your business. We give a lot of good information. If you are interested in having your child learn more about financial literacy, please go to lemonadestandbootcamp.com. We have the website up. It is a interesting ride with that. So go and check it out, see what we have to offer. In the future, we'll be definitely introducing that more to a lot of different people. And then the last thing is, if you are looking to start a business in any way, shape, or form, do not allow fear to stop you. Fear is your enemy.
Thanks.
And thank you so much, Mustafa, for having me on. I really appreciate you.
No problem. And, that's just one of the things that I want to do with the platform. I want to bring brothers and sisters around the country, but I really want to focus on my city, because there's so many brothers and sisters in our city who may not have the big name or the big title, but are doing amazing things. But, who's going to tell their story? Not Channel 3 News.
I know that's right. Oh my goodness. I tried to call them a couple of weeks ago and get them to talk about what was going on at this school. And they, in so many words, blew me off because it wasn't really important. But it wasn't important to the school board either. And it wasn't important to the Black parents. So it was like, okay, well, if it's not important to them, I'm going to let it go. But there are things that we need to discuss in the community for sure. Yeah. So this is a great outlet and I appreciate it. Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be talking and we'll be linking up further going forward. And with that, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Again, thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Well, family, thank you for tuning in to the Mustafa Talks Tech Show. I pray and hope that you enjoyed that enlightening interview with our sister Katrice Johnson, and she really gave insight into her background, really explained entrepreneurship, gave some guidance, if you're thinking about going into entrepreneurship, some of those challenges being Black and a woman going into entrepreneurship, graphic design versus Canva, I learned some things about, Canva versus graphic design as far as, having the blurry images versus having those clear, that was an educational moment for me. And then, she spoke of with, the passion about how we had to stop downgrading our own Black businesses. There's problems indeed with some Black businesses, but we have to give them a chance and we have to encourage them and promote them to be better. So this was a very, very excellent interview. It was educational to me. I pray it was educational to you. And continue to check us out. If you are we stream tonight on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we will stream later on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook and we're not connected by chance, go ahead and like and subscribe to me. If we're on LinkedIn and we're not connected by chance, go ahead and like and subscribe to me. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast on YouTube, go ahead and like, subscribe, share. If you have any questions, put them in the comment. We can follow up with you. We can dedicate a whole show to your question if it's of that need where we need to just really go into it. We do that as well. So I thank you for your support. Thank you for checking out the channel. Have a great evening.